Hello, welcome to the Gab Juls Show. Still no Gab Marcotte, he's still away. So instead, Nedum is here, and actually we should rename the show, no?
Yeah, maybe the Jules and Nedum show.
Yeah,
but, you take the big chair, I'll take the low chair. I know how this
fair
works.
enough. I love that. Big show today because the Champions League, obviously this week was crazy. But like when we say crazy, it was crazy, especially the Liverpool Real Madrid game, which will be our main segment, of course. But we will talk about everything else that happened this week. Plus, we'll have loads of quick hits. But really, we have to start at Anfield, where you were, Nedum, as well. Yes. For what we've seen, amazing comebacks in recent years, remontadas, call it whatever you want. But usually they're over two legs. So the one leg, someone is very good and dominating and big win, and then the second leg they turn it around. Yeah. We've rarely seen, if not, rarely, in the same game, such a different dynamic in Liverpool. On top the first 50 minutes, 2-0 up, and after that, collapse.
I think collapse is the best way to describe it. And when you think about the fact that Liverpool were at home, they started that well. And don't get me wrong, it's Real Madrid. But we spoke in the last show, and you said this version of Real Madrid isn't like the old conquering one. It felt like it was last season. So I hold my hands up, and I'd been drinking the Kool-Aid. I was in the stadium. I could hear the fans. Everything sounded like it was prosperous. Everything was going to be great. Yeah. I may have sent you a text predicting what the score was going to be at 2-0.
Yeah, maybe you said that.
But I didn't. Stop. But the comeback for Real Madrid was amazing. Obviously, there was a mistake in there to make it 2-2. It's a great finish for Vinicius to make it 2-1. But then it's just the timing of those goals. That third goal from Real Madrid, it literally felt like it took all the hope out of the stadium. And I think with Liverpool, we're so used to seeing them play the second leg at Anfield, having something to chase, being in good form. That's a European night at Anfield. But instead, it's like a major collapse. I think most people don't remember the last time Liverpool conceded 5 goals at home in anything, let alone the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, never. I think in
exactly. I don't think it's happened. But there was so much to it, and I think as we continue to talk about it, I think we'll be able to get into some of the details as to why that happened. Because there were a few masterful performances. And a few horror shows as well, I think. Yeah,
and I think all the flaws that we've seen in the Premier League this season too often were exposed by a wonderful team that really, as we said on Monday as well, comes alive in those games in the Champions League, especially when they're under pressure. Because to come to Real Madrid now, and we can talk about Madrid at 37, Karim at 35, all of that. But for you in the stadium probably, and certainly for us watching on television, it felt that they just never panicked, even at 2 goals down. It felt almost like the leaders in that team saying, you know what, we've been there before, let's do our thing, and then we're going to do what we do. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's true. I think they sort of anticipated the pressure that would come from Liverpool at the start. They played through a lot of it. Yeah. They did, but then obviously they conceded the first goal. And then it's a mistake for the second goal. And I think the mentality around a mistake can be key, because for some clubs, they sort of feel down and sorry for themselves. But when it's a mistake, you know that the mistake's unlikely to happen again. Yeah. So if you keep doing things the right way, you're in with a chance. And I think the importance of them scoring the next goal was going to be key. But on the sideline, Ancelotti was just standing there at 0-0 the same way it was at 1-0 down, 2-0 down, 2-1, 3-2, 5-2, whatever. He was just so relaxed and so chilled out. I know those players panicked, but it's because they've done it before. Yeah. And done it so many times before as well. I think it was a very, very impressive performance looking at it. I think the change of Alaba coming off and Nacho coming on was a big thing as well.
Instead of moving Camavinga left back, which he could have done.
Exactly. And then some of the players really grew into the game. And by towards the end, it was almost like showboating. They were just playing little triangles around Liverpool players, and they couldn't even make tackles.
What amazed me is that so they're a team and they play well as a team, but there's nothing special about what Ancelotti does tactically. I mean, there was a switch. Valverde, after I think the 55th minute, went to the left side of the midfield three because that's Liverpool's strength on that right with Trent and Salah and Henderson, just to make sure that was secured and safe, and Modric could go on the right where he would have less work to do defensively. But there's nothing like revolutionary or anything. But because individually they're all so good, I think they know that within a, let's say, like a normal tactical structure, which it is, it's a 4-3-3, but it's pretty normal, really. Yeah. Then they've got a bit of freedom to do whatever they want, and the movement and everything, because they're also intelligent, but they're just all so good individually. Yeah. And I just think like
it's the way some of them were like receiving passes and moving it along, the decision making, understanding when to switch, when to keep it to the same side, not panicking, not just kicking it away. It was amazing. But I think the thing that's getting slept on the most, I thought in that game, Liverpool were very passive after the first goal was scored. Say, Vinicius Junior finds half a yard.
Yeah.
That's a great finish. They could defend it maybe a little bit better.
Definitely.
There's obviously the mistake for the second. But who's got Militao for the third? How did the other goals get scored? Whereas for Real Madrid, every time Liverpool came into their area, there were bodies right there, getting in people's faces. There was aggression from Militao, from Rudiger, from all those other players around it. But for Liverpool, as you saw with the, I think the Benzema's first goal, they just played a 1-2 and nobody's near anybody at all. That didn't happen with Real Madrid the whole night. So I think the great stuff they did in terms of attack and having fluidity to move and sort of Modric being masterful, that's one thing. But Liverpool didn't look dangerous, and it's because of the way that they defended. It was spectacular. I think Courtois ended up playing well. The back four was incredible come the end of it. And it's just like a boring thing to say, but that level of aggression is what Liverpool need if they want to get the season back on track. Because otherwise they'll be punished, because no way should they be conceding 5 goals at home in a game. It's 11 versus 11. Sure.
And I think there's a problem of leadership in that Liverpool team anyway. But we will talk about more of this game and all the tactical analysis and all the debrief. And Kareem the Dream,
Here we go.
Because more goals from Kareem the Dream on the Gab Juls podcast. So make sure you listen to that as well.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.